I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.
Hey y'all, welcome to my channel and another chapter of Adventura the Bus. She's got a special guest. This week I am featuring a special guest. We're not actually working on the bus, but we are working on a special project around the property. And you do get to meet a special guest on this episode. So I just want to welcome you and thank you for being a part of my channel. This is really a week of legacy. I want to first of all wish you all a happy new year, because it is New Year now. And we're about 1 week into New Year's, and I've had an absolutely blessed week. I had a private donor give me some money, and it's really helped boost the project quite a bit. Plus, the person who actually sold me the bus gave me some plumbing gear, plumbing parts. He gave me a bunch of shark bite parts, and that's going to help launch this project forward. And he also gave me stuff to make my own composting toilet. So how about that? So things are in the works here with the bus. I've been working on some special projects inside the bus that you're going to see next week. And also next week, we're going to probably have a lot more supplies. So we're going to start moving into some of the bigger projects like wiring and plumbing and things like that. So I'm going to take some time and figure out exactly what's next on the big docket of things to do. And we're going to try and figure out the floor plan for this thing. And we'll see what adventures lie ahead. Legacy is a very important thing in my life, leaving a legacy for my family and my kids. I have 2 kids, my daughter and my son, and my son has a daughter. So I got to spend Christmas with her. It was a super cool blessing. You'll get a little glimpse of her in the episode with her mama. And my son, you get to see a lot of, and you'll get to see how my son and I interact quite a bit. My son is a very brilliant young man who is very creative when it comes to videoing. A lot of what I learned in video technology is from him, and he is super helpful and informative. I wanted you guys to see right here, I have added handles to the doors, and they look amazing. I got them on Etsy, and I'll have to link the Etsy store on this blog, because these are really top quality handles. So I wanted to just give a shout out to the people who made those handles and say thank you, because they're making the bus look really awesome. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of She's Got a Special Guest, and make sure you come back and catch us up on the flip side at the end of the episode. Watch it all the way through, because there's good things to see on this episode. Blessings to y'all. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for stopping by my channel and another day of Adventure the Bus. It's been a minute since I've been out here, but I have a special guest here today. It's my son. Hey, this is Paul. He usually. You want to tell him about you a little bit?
Well, yeah, I'm this one's son. So I guess I don't know.
You're from Dallas, Texas.
I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Recently, and she's spoken about our beautiful little daughter. I am the father of her great granddaughter.
My granddaughter, not great.
Oh yeah, my goodness, that's right.
Yes.
We made my grandma a great grandma, and
yes.
she is a grandma.
My mom, who you guys have already met, is the great grandma.
Indeed, and I'm beautiful. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Lourdes Romaniega from Peru, and yeah, I'm here. We're here for visiting for Christmas.
Yeah.
Hooray!
And so we've been taking a little break, but we're going to do a little special project today, and Paul's going to help me out with that, and we're going to film that project. So
Huzzah!
Thanks for joining us.
Okay, so here we are. We are actually working on the projector mount for the movie projector that I have in my living room. I hung it up on the ceiling because I made this custom hanger, but unfortunately it wasn't to the right specs. So my son, who is a video guru, and he loves video, he's done a lot of video work, and he is here helping me redo this whole setup. And I originally designed the mount for it because I was trying to get the projector up off the floor. I had the projector on the floor on a tripod because that was just what was easiest. Now I've actually mounted it physically on the upper part of the house, and I had built this little bracket, but it was too short and it needed to be adjusted. So Paul and I took on this project together to work on this, and he's being my primary video guy. This is something I've been praying for a long time, is to have somebody that could just help me do the videoing and also help with the projects, because he is lending a hand. I'm sorry, I'm being punny. He is actually lending a hand to get this done, and we're figuring out and calculating out what we need to do. So you'll hear us talk a little bit about what we're doing in the next segment here.
We're done.
We've done it.
So now we just got to figure out how long our pipe needs to be. And guess what I have right here? A pipe.
A pipe. Okay, so let's work our calculation here. We've got the whole pole is 103 inches minus 19
My blade.
for. Well, actually, we wanted to mount to 84 inches above the floor, so that brings us to 19 inches left. Then we subtracted, what was it? I think 5.5 inches for the projector, plus the there's like a little black mount on the projector. That was 5.5 inches, so that leaves us with a budget of 13.5 inches, as you can see clearly inscribed here. So that's what we're working with, 13.5 inches. So from here to this connection point, then up here to this connection point, we need to figure out, okay,
How much distance do we need to make?
So this place is where we go into Overthinkers Anonymous, and both of us begin to calculate out what it is we need, what type of materials we need, and how we need to do the project. So that's what this is here. We're just coming up with some supplies and things that we think is going to work for this. So that's where we're at now.
And then we have this factored in. So we get to 13 and a half. We have to be,
you got some
That's
rust
the
there,
bottom.
so you probably want to avoid that.
in the cut.
I mean, you could
It'd
almost.
be right 13 and a half right there. And then we need the other bracket. Where's the other bracket? Right there.
This guy?
Over there. Over there. Over there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, get that other bracket. And so between the two pieces there, I need to figure out how much 10 to 4, that's 6 1/4 inches.
So it needs to be cut basically right in here, no?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's where it needs. Well, put that bracket back there. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong spot. It should be from 12. Let's say from 12 or 3/4. Let me see. Let's go from
Okay,
11
yeah,
and a
11
half.
3/4.
11 and a half to wherever this quarter over here.
What do you mean?
We're going to take out. There's the quarter in. Well, actually, it has to come all the way up. So 11 and a half to 2. So it'd be, what's 2 from 11 and a half?
2 minus 11 and a half?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be 11, 10, 9, 9 and a half.
9 and a half inches is what we need.
Okay.
That's what I.
So from here, we can go into the fabrication stage. So we're going to begin to measure out a bar, and then we're going to cut that bar, and then we're going to begin to put the mounts together. The thing is we started out with a skinnier bar here, and then my son comes up with a greater idea, and he'll present that to me in a couple seconds here. See, he shows me that other bracket there, and he says, "This will work, Mom. What do you think?" And we were not sure that it would fit the pipe right, but then when we tried out a couple of options, we saw that it would fit perfectly with the two main brackets that we needed, and we just had to rework that actual mount there and kind of make it where it was a little more secure and not just stuck on the end of the pole. So that's what we did, is we got the bigger pole out, and we sized that one up now with our calculations from the other one. So we're sizing everything up here based on what we did before. We're going to size it up, we're going to mark the pole, and then we're going to cut it. And here's what happens is I start off with the jigsaw with a metal blade on it, and this one is actually a steel pole, and the jigsaw was just not even denting it. So I was like, okay, we need more power. So I go over and grab my grinder, and we're going to just knock this out in no time. And so I take the grinder and go at it. And so we get the grinder out, we cut the grinder cut it with the grinder, and then I have to clean up the edge a little bit so Paul gets some cool footage of me grinding down that pipe and getting it ready so that we can mount it with the other mount. I had a little bit of a jaggedy edge there that I had to clean up, so we're doing that. So now we're going to fit everything together and see what...
5 inches.
Like that.
Let us measure.
This will all go like that, and then if we did it right, it's 13.5 inches. What the heck? What the heck? What the heck?
Nice. Good job. Right here. Bam.
Sometimes a little fudging is good.
We just love it when a plan comes together, and that's exactly what happened. So we're going to go back into fabricating. We're going to actually drill some holes through the brackets so that we can get them to mount properly. And that other bracket, we have to get that little rubber piece out and then drill a hole through that one so that we can make that one work properly. So we're going to do that next.
You could mount this to a board and then drill through it. Crazy idea.
So I wanted you to hear what his suggestion was, because his mind is like an engineer's mind, and he really thought this through, and it's one of the brightest lights that I've seen. I would sit there and do it the hard way, and he came up with a way that was very, very practical and easy to be able to screw these mounts into a board, keep it flat and stable while we drilled the hole through the pole. And that was just super brilliant, and this was such an easy way to do it. And we end up putting a board on both sides while we drill the hole through the pole, and this really worked well. And Paul actually holds the pole while I'm drilling through it. This goes really fast and we get it done quickly, and it was super efficient to do it this way, and we're very proud with the way that it worked out. And then we're going to go on to do the other end of this pole as well. And so we take another board, we mount that on the other board, and then we drill through that pole as well and get that all set up. So that's what we're in the process of doing there, is we're getting a couple screws, screwing it to the board flat like we did with the other one. And then what you're going to see us do is we're going to actually screw the boards into my plywood table, and so that way we hold everything stable while we're drilling it. And this was such a brilliant idea, and super happy that it worked really well, and it was very safe way to do it, because we weren't getting our fingers in the middle of everything. Here we're trying to get that nut loose so that we can make it straight. We end up actually just moving the board because that nut was just really tight on there. So we actually end up just moving it a little bit, and we get it straight enough to where we can actually drill that hole through. Yeah, we used a little bit of persuasion too. And so we're going to drill that hole through, and then we'll get the bolts, and he's given me some direction to keep the hole going straight through the pole instead of being crooked. And you're going to see us flip the board over so that we can drill through the other side, because this particular one had holes on both sides, and I didn't want to misalign the holes by trying to drill through all the way. So I wanted to get it accurate and do it right, so I put a bolt in the side where I had already drilled to keep it stable on that side, and then I just remounted these boards on this thing, and then put another drilled another hole through the other side of the mount. This has actually worked out to be a genius little project, and this is another reason why I kind of included it in the bus video, is because we're actually recycling parts from the bus. You know, those old poles that used to be inside of the bus, that's where we got all these parts. And so we're really the mounts and all those mounts and the pole itself came from the bus. So we're actually recycling parts of the bus for this project, and this was really cool, and it worked really well. And we're just about to finish up here with the actual drilling of these holes, and then we're going to put some bolts through the holes, and you're going to hear us comment about what we did and how we did it and how pleased we are with what happened, because this has kind of been, let's make it up as we go, and that's kind of the way we do things sometimes, and that's the way it is to be a maker, is to make things up as you go. You find a problem and you fix it.
Put it on the table.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Oh yeah, you need to. Oh, we didn't account for the thickness of the rubber.
That's what I'm talking
So then you gotta. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now you're through the rubber.
I'm through.
Woohoo!
Okay, now
That's
we're gonna run this
perfect.
through.
Look at that. That is perfect.
Boom.
Boom.
And then.
Boom diggity! Ha ha! Right here. Kablam! That is solid.
Wow.
Built Zinn tough. When it works, it's built Zinn tough. When it doesn't work, it's just built.
I'm gonna have to start using that. I need to have one that says. I need a T-shirt that says "Built in."
Yeah, there you go. Get that selling on. Well, yeah, that could work on Patreon. Yeah, that could be a Patreon.
Yeah, that's part of my merch, man.
Other people would wear the banner of Built in Tough.
I've already branded Adventura and Zinnspire by doing this.
Okay, so what you see me doing here is taking it off the actual mount that we used to drill through, and we're going to actually start working on the second mount to get that ready and set that up so that we can connect them together. But we discover another problem.
This actually looks fantastic. I mean, of course, it needs a paint job, but let's look at this. So first off, on this side, this is a very solid metal structure. We just need to get a good screw to get up on the top. Then we've got this. There we go, in there. And we're planning on kind of making a little grommet with tape so that it can kind of stabilize this action here, because it's kind of like got a jiggle to it. And then we'll mount it with a proper, thing. And ooh, a ladybug. Look at this little lady. Hello, ladybug. You see her? I don't know if this thing can focus that close, but it's a cutie. Hello, little ladybug. Do you guys know that ladybugs, more commonly when seen in the wild like this, are, even though they're called a ladybug, they are males.
Okay, so we're trying to figure out what types of tape we're going to use to make our little grommet that we need. We're looking at the different kinds of tape options that I have, and we finally settle on electrical tape. And because my son is very skilled with electrical tape and accurate with it, he's going to take this on.
When I was homeschooled, I used to build things out of PVC pipe.
And electrical tape.
And electrical tape. And so this was something I would do commonly. So we're basically just trying to wrap this around until we've spacing out.
I'm gonna do what my son taught me to do.
Do what my son. Oh yeah. So that's one of the backstories we could tell, is that I used to work at Christ for the Nations doing videography, but before that, I worked with my mom and my sister in Zinn Creative, and we filmed things and we made websites and we did all sorts of stuff. And before that, I was at Kingdom Global Ministries, and then before that, I was at CFNI. So we just have a little bit of a videography career there. This is going to take a hot second.
You think?
So he's just going to continue wrapping that pole until he gets it to the right thickness that he needs, and then he's going to trim it down to exactly what we need it to do to fit, because we found that it was going to be just a little too thick on the bottom edge, so he had to kind of trim it back a little bit. So that's what he's going to do next. So we wanted to kind of speed it up a little bit so you could see him get to the end of this thing a lot faster.
Right. Let's check it. Oh yeah, that is
Beautiful.
smooth.
Do you want to do the drilling now, or do you have to drill it?
Uh-oh. We've created a new problem.
What?
It's not going as far in, so I gotta... Do you have a razor?
So because we found that we had a little bit of trimming to do on this, Paul's going to take the camera while I look for the elusive razor knife, which is really, really elusive, because when I do find the razor knife, we're going, okay, why didn't I look there first? So I'm looking around the bus and the different places that I've stashed things, going through some of the boxes and looking for it. Paul kind of got stuck. He looks at my door handles. That's before I installed the door handles. And then I find a little vise and I find a saw, but I'm not finding my razor blade handle. And then guess where it was? It was in my apron. So that's what I'm talking about when I say the elusive razor handle. because it was right there in the spot that we had it very handy, but we didn't realize it was that close. So he's going to trim this down and get it ready. Right now he's changing the blade on the razor so he can have a sharp blade and be able to do this a lot easier. He shows me a little trick too.
Blade change.
Oh, sorry, I'm phasing out.
You're all right, Mom.
I'm mesmerized watching you. I'm sorry. And the camera's not following you. Oh, so good. I didn't know you could do that.
That's what that guy's there for.
Oh my gosh, I just learned something new about my razor knife.
Yep.
Oh, that's a lot easier than doing it the other way. Thank you for teaching me that.
I do want to say it's never too late to learn something new. Paul just taught me something I could do with my razor knife that I had no clue you could do. And I am like, oh my gosh, that's a revelation I wished I'd had a long time ago.
You want to use the vice grips? Oh, no, you got it. Look at that. Isn't that so
Here we
skilled?
go. The next level. Well, that should now
Work
quite well. I do believe.
Wait, I think I found another bolt.
And then we need to.
Now that we have our grommet trimmed, we can actually drill through the post and begin to mount this together and get close to ending this project and getting on to actually mounting it where it's going to go. So that's what he's doing right now. He's drilling through and making sure that he's got a clean place for the bolt to go through. We get that done and we put it together. Yay!
It should pull it in.
I mean, it's just tightening it now.
Right.
So that is built Zinn tough right here.
And we have.
Well, you're one. Do we want to straighten that out?
Yeah, we can. We have to get the right size. I use the sockets for it. Hang on. Take the camera.
Oh.
I'll get the other side.
Built Zinn tough.
I'll be right there.
Yeah. Looks like a little chicken bone. Very, very crunchy chicken bone. Well, it might not be crunchy, but it certainly would crunch your teeth if you try to chew on that. So what we're trying to do is now loosen this guy up right here on the bottom.
As it is with all projects, there's always looking for the right tool to get the job done, and that's what I was doing. I was getting a ratchet so we could adjust this and get it to the right place where we can actually move that angled thing so we can get the camera on the proper angle. So we needed that loose enough so that we could adjust it back and forth, and so that's what we're doing, getting the sockets together and loosening that little bit of bolt there. And it's going to take just a second here. We're going to struggle with it a little bit, and then Paul's going to get it, and he's going to be able to break it loose here because he uses his manpower, because sometimes it's good to have a manpower around.
This guy. You want it to be about yay long, which is fine. That's about 5 inches.
Let me see. You want this piece?
I would say you just make it as long as your other piece, the longer piece.
Okay, that's what I was gonna do, and that's about 5 inches. So we're gonna.
Yeah,
go
sure.
with that.
There we go.
Oh, that was hard.
Make quick work of that.
Okay, so what you see us doing here is because we're mounting this mechanism on a beam that is a little off center from the screen, we're basically putting two boards together so that we can have an offset so the camera can hang offset from the bar. So that's what we're putting together here, and we were just putting two boards together so that we had the right strength and depth for the screws to go through and to properly mount that bar to the boards so that we can offset that camera. Or not camera, Paul will get me after me for saying camera. It's a projector, the projector. So now we're mounting bar to the offset boards, and of course we're looking for screws, and actually we were looking for washers at this point because the holes on the one mount had a little bit of larger holes, so we wanted to have some washers there to keep the screws from going through the holes. So
I'm not videoing you.
Jack Giblin is a
He's an inspector, building inspector now. You want it to go the other way because...
But it is just not cooperating with me. Ah. What are you doing, Hadia?
She's talking. She's like, We'll adjust that later. We're just going to need to see that it doesn't hit the ceiling fan, you know.
Oh, it's got metal all over it.
Oh, that's probably part of the problem. Here, let me take it to the...
Did not get down.
Here.
Thank you. Yes, I'll just film it from here. Hi, Hadassah. Hi, mi amor. Hadassah's being held very safely by Mama. Hi, baby girl. There's a beautiful smile for Daddy. Be careful, abuelita. Here, I will.
Okay, so we proceed to actually mounting the camera onto the beam. And you can see why we put that just a little bit offset, because that screen is in the middle of the room and the actual pole and beam that we're mounting the beam that we're mounting the pole to is a little bit off center, so that's why we have those two boards going over. And then that little circular thing there is a magnet, and the camera actually just magnetically connects to the pole.
Custom made. That's what we got to say. Custom made.
If you can give me a... Do you have a taller ladder?
Yes, I do, outside under the thing.
What?
You don't want that.
Can we put a blanket down here?
It's under the carport, so it's not wet.
Super wet.
Or you can go get the one out of the studio. There's the unreliable one, but it works.
It's just to run cabling.
It works. Bring the hammer too.
Bring a hammer.
Please.
Ready? Okay. We're going. We have a hammer. Where's the hammer? Hammer's somewhere. She said it was in the working area. I do not see him. There is no hammer. Hammer, hammer, where you at, sucker? I know you're here somewhere. Ha-ha! We found it. Let's go into the shed. We're going to the shed. We're going to the shed. Yeah, let's go to the shed. Hello, shed. Whoa, that is... Oh, there's a lock. We have defeated the lock. Locking mechanism defeated. Lights engaged. Searching. Ha! It is found. The Widowmaker. We can now out in the lights. Very good. Okay. Now we have a ladder and a hammer. We're in a rainless area. We're going to very gently put this down so that it doesn't get manchad. That's Spanish for stained. We're going to close this door. We're going to close this door. We're going to re-engage the locking mechanism. Locking mechanism engaged. We have a hammer. We're storing the hammer. We have a ladder. We're going. We are Sparta. Oh dear, that's...
Okay, so what you see here is we're actually finishing up. Paul's working on mounting all the wires in place and making them all nice and neat so that we can have of course, do our job with excellence. And so that's what we're working on right here. This is the bird's eye view from up in my loft area, looking down to where he's actually doing the mounting of the wires. And there's that beam that runs there that we have mounted the camera to, and then the screen is out in front of it. And later on you will see him working to focus the screen, and he's actually connecting up my speaker there. I have a Bose speaker there that provides that kind of surround sound speaker sound, and now we're gonna focus it.
Good job, well done. We're making popcorn. We have some coconut oil. We've done a very large tablespoon of coconut oil. Very large. Ooh, good shot. And then we put about a teaspoon and a half of salt in the bottom, and we have 2 kernels in there just warming up. And when it gets hot enough, when the oil gets hot enough, then those will pop. They'll pop. Yes. You probably won't. They usually pop and it's not that bad. So we're waiting for the kernels to get hot enough right now. When they get hot enough, then we'll pour the rest of the kernels in and then we'll pop the popcorn. This is just a waiting game now. This is the old-fashioned way to make popcorn, folks. This is the way we did it when I was a kid. There it goes. Okay, we got popcorn. Okay, and then we put the kernels in, give it a little shake, and then we'll put the lid on, and then they're going to start just popping away as they build the steam up. There we go. It's going to start popping here. Oh. 3 hours later. There it goes. It's starting now. They'll start popping in rapid succession here. Get going fast. What you want to do is just wait until you hear it go, when it gets down to like 2 to 3 seconds between the pops. So it's going to be really fast here for a while, and then it's going to stop. Start slowing down, and you turn the heat off before it's finished. Okay. Because this is hot, and it'll stay hot. It's going to pop the top now. Hey y'all, thank you for joining me on this week's episode of Adventura the Bus. She's got a special guest. Thanks for tuning in and sticking all the way to the end of the video. As you can see here, there's a lot that can still be done on Adventura. I've pretty much got a blank slate going on in here, and she's looking fabulous. And I'm really, really happy with how she's looking. We did have a little bit of some leaks still in some of the windows, so I went through and caulked the windows, and hopefully I've got most of that taken care of. I've had one more rainstorm since then. Does seem like she's being dry. Plus I have some other projects I've been working on in the front cab area. I'm trying to finish up the front cab. We've done a lot up there, and it's getting really nice in all of this places. So now I've got pretty much a blank slate. I have to do the ceiling, and I want to work on the ceiling before I start laying out the floor plan in the bus. But she's looking good. And I want to ask you to take time to make sure you subscribe and share this video with anybody that you think might be blessed by it. Thank you for joining me, and y'all come back now. Thank you all for taking time to stop by. Don't forget to subscribe and share. Y'all come back now.
Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.